However, I've also was wondering if that means more or less alcohol consumed. Wow, my lord, it's the middle of the day and apparently I already need a drink. Alcoholics Anonymous, let me tell you. Hey everybody, welcome back! Falcon, Convoy, we are here taking a look at an updated build of Convoy itself. I figured we'd do this before the game actually releases because you guys, number one, really enjoyed the extended look at that we did just a while ago. What we're looking at here today is actually an updated build of Convoy, which actually adds a bunch of new different things to the game. More importantly, what it adds is more scenarios, meaning more side quests for us to undertake, which is always fun. And number two, in terms of actual battles, when you go into the fighting system, there's actually road hazards now. There's a bridge now, so you kind of have to really maneuver your vehicles around in a very strategic type of place. So I'm really excited about that. And number two, we're actually going to be playing this in hard mode, which I figure, you know, might as well just give myself a little bit more difficulty involved here. And if you look at the character select screen over here, which we are, you'll notice that the units right here are actually different. In the first time around, you remember that the units were basically identical to each other, so now they've actually added a little bit more of a dynamic type of look to the game. That's going to obviously affect the overall strategy, because now instead of having two identical units, you start off with two different ones, so you kind of have to figure out what's going to actually complement you and your type of game style. So I think that's really pretty cool. So personally, we're going to actually go with a different convoy today. We're going to go with this thing that looks, this convoy looks like some sort of like space warship or some shit. That looks really crazy. Looks kind of like part land too. I'm not sure what's going on over here, but I kind of like the look of it. So we're going to go with this convoy, and in terms of our units over here, I wanted to play with this one with the shields, but I didn't really have too much luck with this. So instead, we're going to go with this bad boy over here. Kind of goes with the whole color scheme at the same time anyway, doesn't it? So we're going to go with this row. We're going to go with hard, and let's get the game underway here. So we're definitely going to skip the intro over here because we've already done this. If you guys aren't aware of the intro, go check out the first episode of the initial look at the game if you guys want to have a better feel for this. But since we've already done this before, we're going to skip to the intro. We know what we need to do. We need to actually collect all these items over here to get our ship up and running. Now, if we look at our thing up here, you'll see that we can only carry one of the main objective items at a time. So basically, after we're done with one, we have to go back to the spaceship to deliver it because we can't carry two anymore. So all that said and done, we need to kind of pick out a little bit of a place to go check out here. So we have compression coil, we have flux capacitor 183, 197, and 105. So this one seems the one that's kind of closer to us, so we might as well check this one out. For hard mode, what I would actually suggest is that you put a bigger emphasis on going to the camps more often to heal. I've already taken a few tries at the hard mode myself. It didn't really end up too well, but the one thing that I kind of learned from that altogether was the fact that you should really go to the camps to heal up your units, because you take a lot of damage in hard mode. You arrive at the office of Eiffels Incorporated, a large building which probably also houses the actual production facility, surrounded by an electric fence. It looks exceptionally well defended. The fence has auto turrets positioned along its circumference. You see signs indicating a minefield and heavy vehicle patrols the perimeter. Before you can approach any further, someone attempts to radio you. So let's open communications here. Welcome to Eiffels Incorporated. You have cleared for a meeting with our chief executive officers. Please approach our facility on foot. We shall provide transportation at the gate. We wish you a pleasant stay. So let's approach the office over here. You are taken inside the building, brought to a conference room, and told to wait. So let's wait, I suppose. After some time, two slick-looking businessmen enter the room. Greetings, sir. My name is Samuel Eiffels, and this is my brother Maxwell Eiffels. We welcome you to our fine establishment. Is it safe to assume you are here to acquire some of our STEM boats? That is correct. Naturally, we have many customers for our esteemed STEM boats. Of course, we may be able to strike a deal if you're willing to pay more than our other customers. We think 1,500 parts sound like a fair price. Well, that's unfortunate, pretty bad for us because we only have 100 parts right now, so we can't really make this happen. So we can say that's too much. So we can say unfortunate. We've already seen this before though, right? Basically what happens is you say, can't do it, sorry, and then they try to finagle you into doing like some sort of evil deed for them. So, you know, again, if you've already seen the first hour, if you've seen some of the episodes on the first run, you'll kind of know what to expect over here. So they'll give us a little bit of a quest over here to go and check something out for them. So that's the one we're going to be going with right now and see what that kind of does. I am going to actually be undertaking a lot of these quests in a different manner this time around, maybe like giving different answers to kind of give a different type of feel, because that's what's really great about the game, that there's many different ways that you could kind of undertake options, meaning there'll be different ways to clear a certain type of objective. A large number of raiders are gathered here. It seems to be some sort of violent event. You're being contacted on the radio. Let's hear it. You're in just in time to complete our destruction derby. Step right up to compete unless you haven't got the balls. I'm gonna say bring it on, bruh. You don't talk to me about my balls. Only I can make fun of my balls and how small they happen to be compared to the rest of my body, which, you know, it's kind of like probably a medical condition, so please don't make fun of it. Either way, you enter the arena with your vehicles and see a variety of other vehicles. The majority look battered and roughed up. A countdown begins. Choose your strategy. I'm gonna do hit and run. That's what I always do, baby. You gotta hit and run. You never stick around, you just hit it and then you run. Take that for just about every sort of advice in life though, but I'll leave you to that discretion. You zip through the arena by handling your vehicles expertly, landing critical hits on other vehicles when the opportunity arises. You shoot down several opposing vehicles. Unfortunately, your car suffers a bit of a hit by an opponent. You shoot down several opposing vehicles, keep going. Unfortunately, your car suffers a hit by an opponent. Oh no. You shoot down several more. Keep going. The other competing vehicles are destroyed one by one. Eventually, you find yourself the last man standing. You are awarded a prize of 111 parts and 33 fuel. So, you know, not that big of a reward, but it's something at the very least. That was just, again, another random event that this isn't really part of the whole main objective that we're doing here. There's another one over here, though, so what I'm going to do for this run is actually try to undertake as many of these little side quests imaginable, just to give you guys more of a feel what to expect whenever the game comes out and you guys want to try it out for yourself here. The signal appears to be a raider base of operations. You spot several crudely drawn signs warning people to keep out. Some of them depict mines. So there's going to be a minefield, huh? Meaning that's probably our battle itself is going to have a bunch of mines, huh? Enter the supposed minefield to fight the raiders, or ignore the raiders. Entering a minefield isn't worth it. Let's go in there. You know, who dares wins, right? Your scanner doesn't pick up any signs of mines. Looks like the raiders were just bluffing. Regardless, they've noticed your convoy and move in to engage. So let's prepare our weapons. Let's get into our first fight over here. Alrighty, so let me pause this really quickly. Jesus Christ, the fight just started and already attacking us. Alrighty, so expect a lot of more road hazards this time around, meaning I have to be a little bit more vigilant about my moves and stuff to that degree. And I also want to play it a little bit more strategically, where I'm going to use my units to kind of block shots on my convoy, which is something I didn't really do the first time around. So let's move you over here up to position. Same with you. Now, I have the missile with this dude, so let me land this missile, hopefully. Oh, that's pretty good. This is pretty good. We'll land it right there in the middle. Got a few of them with a few hits there. Let's move you over here. Let's have you work on this guy. You, my friend, move over here. And what I would love to do is to start working on this guy. I'm going to move him over here. What this is basically doing is causing a blockade. So these guys cannot shoot my convoy. They have to go through my units before they actually cause some damage over here. They'll probably try to move around, but, you know, we've got to play a little bit more strategic this time around. So that's what I'm really excited for. So you keep working on this individual. You work over here. This guy wants to maneuver back to kind of get a little bit of a attack on our convoy here without much, I guess, defense, but that's fine. We will deal with him shortly. Now, as you notice, after I killed this guy with this individual, we took some damage here because what happens is when you blow up these enemies as well, I guess the carcass of their shell, of their car, still remains, so you run into that little road hazard. So again, it's something I didn't really take too much attention the first time around, but this time around I really do feel like that's kind of important. So for now, I think we just kind of gang up on this guy, make sure to get him out of the way. This guy is over here just flanking our vehicle, which kind of sucks a bit. This guy's about to go down, so what I want to do is hopefully drop back a little bit. Alright. We actually still ran into it. I should have moved upwards, but that's my fault. Let's move you out of the way and let's have you start working on this individual as well. And then my convoy's ready to fire, so let's go and set one off right here. Good damage. Alright, this guy's basically just flanking my convoy, so we can't really do much about keeping him from hurting us, but at the very least, his explosion didn't really hurt our units anytime soon. You find some loot in the wrecks, 15 fuel and 51 parts. That's good. Take the loot. Alrighty. So, considering the damage that we took, I'm going to say that probably after the next fight, we should probably go to a camp and basically heal ourselves, because, again, hard mode is going to be causing you a lot of grief in terms of the damage output that these enemies actually do make now. As you can also see, I'm actually sticking to the roads this time around because, a few people pointed out to me in the videos. I also kind of realized that towards the end of my own run, initial run anyway, that when you go through the off-roads, you basically travel at a slower pace. However, I've also was wondering if that means more or less alcohol consumed. Wow, my lord, it's the middle of the day and apparently I already need a drink. Alcoholics Anonymous, let me tell you. No, it's not true. But there is no more or less fuel consumption if you go off-terrain. I was hoping that would be a little bit of a mechanic, but no. If you stick to the on the roads, you'll just travel faster, same amount of fuel used up. If you go off-road, you'll travel slower, but still the same amount of fuel used up. So it doesn't really heighten your fuel usage overall. Alright, you arrive at the location Eiffels Inc. is seeking to obtain. It appears to be a regular stretch of desert. There doesn't seem to be anything special about it. Let's investigate the area. As you start to investigate the area, it quickly becomes apparent that the problem with this stretch of land is you are being ambushed by privateers. Let's defend. Alrighty, so let's just make sure that we don't take too much damage here because, I'm telling you, man, hard mode does not dick around this time around. Or at least the time around that I'm playing around now, because it's the first time we played a normal. We have 4 enemies, which is something that really worries me significantly, because we're outmatched, meaning this vehicle or convoy is going to take a lot of damage until we could actually get into position here. So I'm going to move over here. I'm going to keep this individual over on this side. You work on this one. And then we need to land one of our missiles. Oh, that's pretty perfect right there. Oh, this son of a bitch moved. You are a piece of work, motherfucker. I'll tell you that much right now. Alright, so the faster we get rid of this guy, the better it is to kind of get up here and defend our convoy, because it's taking a lot of damage, as you can see. So let's come up here now. Let me actually move you guys forward here on this side. You work on this individual. You work over here too. But let's continue moving. Want to make sure that we're... Oh, don't let him flank. Oh, you fucking flanked right into the convoy. Okay. That's going to be problematic, because you can see our convoy is now completely undefended, so we're kind of fucked in that regard. What I could do, however, is as soon as this is up and running, we'll launch a missile right over here. Excellent. Alrighty. Now, our convoy is still in a tough spot. That is for sure. We want to get rid of this guy, and then hopefully we'll deal with this individual over here. We still haven't run into any of the hazards I was talking about. Let me move you out of the way here, my friend. Okay, perfect. So what I would love to do is to get this guy to fucking move, so he stops, you know, flanking my convoy up front over here. So you shoot over here, you go over in this one. The other thing that you might notice, I have lowered the volume a little bit in terms of the sound effects. The vehicles now actually have voices, I guess. So it's basically the crew inside of the units themselves over here kind of causing, or reaffirming your orders and things of that nature. Oof, that's a lot of damage. I find it personally an endearing addition to the game. However, it becomes a little bit annoying after a while, so I have reduced the sound effects of the game, so hopefully that'll lower the... It's like they sound kind of like Charlie Brown characters in a sense, but it's just not something I like too much, especially after a while if you're playing for a long stretch of time. It'll start getting on your nerves a little bit, so I'm not too crazy about that addition, but it is there for, you know, people that are interested in it. 18 fuel, 51 parts, and there doesn't seem to be any form of official deed to this place, but you doubt there was ever any to begin with. With the entire base in ruins, it is unlikely any more privateers will return in the near future. You should return to Eiffel Zinc to report the success. Let's move out. And as you can see, you know, we're still okay over here. This guy is taking a lot of damage though, so we definitely do need to head up to a camp really soon. We might do that as a matter of fact, even before we go back to the Eiffel area. So how about we do this? Let's go to the nearest camp, 45. Where's our Mercury ship at? 139. So we'll definitely go to a camp and heal up, because the last thing I want to do is actually get stuck in another fight and get fucked. Camp. Alrighty. Mind you, we're not really bringing in too much moolah right now, so hopefully we can run into that pylon event again. And the pylon event is what actually kind of turned the tide last run, because it gave us a lot of money just for digging over the Torvac Corporation, if I'm right. So we want to do repairs easily. So you heal up. Excellent. Same with you. And same with you. We're down to 268. Let's see if there's another vehicle for sale. If we could get another third party involved, it could be... Oh, there it is. This is going to be Red Sky 10, 850, 45 AP. You also have, what do you have here? You have a medium rocket artillery, which is actually kind of a really, not really my favorite weapon. It kind of fires a little bit too slow for my taste, but it'll at least give us another person to kind of absorb damage for us meanwhile, which is actually pretty good. So we'll definitely buy him at 165. Our convoy has a few options over here too, which we might take a look at. We have some scrap left over, so let's see. This is 50 for the mine layer. You know what? The mine layer? It throws them, huh? So it's not going to just be behind them, huh? Let's see, maybe? I don't know. I feel like with the mine layer, it'd have to be really, really micromanaging, and you guys know me. Micromanaging and myself don't really go hand in hand too much some of the times. We have the super railgun, too. You know what? Let me go with the super railgun just because it's, a little bit up my speed, which is just, being a bullheaded individual and just slamming people with a lot of damage fast. And we're going to actually use up our last parts, too. Buy 10 more gasoline because it could be really useful in the long run. Alrighty, so everybody's up and running. The other thing I want to do is actually upgrade my vehicles, regular upgrades, more frequently. Should have probably saved a little bit of money for that, but you know, it is what it is at this point. Let's return, break up camp, we're good to go. Alrighty, so we have a third individual now over here. Cool, it's going to help us out with at least kind of moving some people around to kind of cover more areas for us to defend. Now, we could go back to the stem bolts thing, because we're done. However, I see another, oh, okay, well, I saw another point of interest, but we get into this thing instead. You spot a battered and broken raider vehicle by the side of the road. Let's investigate it. You strip the vehicle and manage to obtain all... Wait a minute. Excuse me. This is kind of... Alright, so we found no no parts is what you're telling me, but we did find 2 Cannon 60 MMs. That's pretty good. Alrighty, you know what? Let's go back over here really quickly. So this is the stock that we have. Well, you know what I should have done since I forgot to do it the first time. I was actually equipped my weapon on this guy, which is the one that is God. So yeah, good thing I just realized that really quickly before I ran too far and people are going to be mad at me for not equipping it. So we'll have this guy equipped with 2 weapons now. We also have these extra cannons. You know what? I'm going to give one of them to our friend over here because I'm not really too crazy about his weapon. Okay. So you know what? Let's switch it out. Let me go with this one instead. I feel more comfortable with this type of weapon over here, so return. What about you guys? You have 2 of those already, so you're fine. You're a big damage dealer as it is. You're a pretty big guy. Oh, you. Either way. Always got to throw in that Bane reference, right? Heavy MG, and then minigun. Let's see. High damage, very long. Reload, effective against all targets. Yeah, so the reload isn't that great on that one for sure. This is fast firing with medium reload, effective against all targets. And then we have this one, which is bigger version of the small MG. Does more damage overall. Let's launch his dumb, fire rockets at the target. Easy to dodge, but doesn't require line of sight. So do we want something that's going to, be easy to dodge, or do we just keep this one? I say we keep this one for sure. Yeah. I was considering, you know what? Let's live a little bit dangerous, right? Let's remove this individual. We'll put you over here. Why not? Might as well try it out. Try something different. We could also sell some of these extra parts, which is something that, I should consider if we're not going to actually use them, right? Let's see. Where are my parts at again? How do I live without you? How do I... Actually, that's not what I'm trying to go for here. Break up the camp? It's probably not what I was looking for here. I'm, all the time a little bit kind of confused with the UI. It's because of my own issues, though. Let me go into shop is what we're looking for. And then we go into this, right, which is going to be... Break up camp. It should be somewhere here, ma'am. Return. Scrapyard? Not repair. Oh, you know what it is. Let me go into the convoy itself, and that's going to bring up the items that we do have in extra. There we go. Alrighty. So you would sell for how much? 25, and then you would sell for 20. Let me sell this one for now. You know what, let's sell both of them, and we'll actually do a little bit of upgrades here. We have 48 scrap now. Let's actually... Convoy. Let's give the convoy a little bit more health. Maybe a little bit more armor as well. And we have 20 for the next upgrade. We could probably drop 2 more upgrades on our little units over here, which would be pretty good. So you, my friend, are kind of like a pretty good guy in terms of causing damage overall. So let's give you some better range, and we'll give you also... how's your health? 1150? What about your health? 850. Let's give you a health upgrade. Alrighty, so we'll confirm that. Return, break up camp. Excellent, I like it. Open up the map over here. Perfect. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call it an episode here. We're going to actually head back towards the self-sealing boats now that we have the units properly equipped in terms of their health back and everything like that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, leave a thumbs up, leave a like. The support does mean a lot. And more Convoy on hard to continue. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I will catch you next time.